Alright guys, welcome to your disassembly of the Scuba set. After your dives, you come up, your BCD and your regulator and your Scuba cylinders need to be disassembled and in the proper steps. The first thing you want to do is to shut the gas. Now even after having shut the gas, you will realize that it is not zero. Alright, this is a full tank because it's just for our demonstration. Alright, before you can do the disassembly of a regulator system, you need to bring the pressure down to zero. Alright, otherwise the high pressure in the hoses will still lock the system down and it's almost impossible to undo the regulator set. So look at the needle as I perch the regulator down. Until you hear no more pressure coming out. You can just perch one, you don't need to perch the other one, they're all linked as one system. Alright, so it doesn't make sense to perch this and then try and perch this because they're all one line of pressure. So once it's zero, disassemble all four hoses. Now very important is the disassembly of this. Now this is a ball bearing swivel catch, as you already experienced. In order to try and take this out, you need to push the hose in with your 3 fingers. Push this in and then pull the sleeve back and just slide it out. Alright, you can practice this a couple of times. 2 hoses on the left is free, and then the 2 hoses on the right has to also remain free. Do not drop these regulator second stages on the floor because that will interfere with the fine tuning and the breathing resistance set, alright, at the factory. Open this up. Now very important for you to note that at this point the diver would be dripping wet. He or she must not drip any salt water into the regulator first stage. Alright, the dust cover would be also wet with salt water. We want to make sure that this is towel dried. If you have no access to towel, you can blow it with your tank gas. Alright, just put it at the outlet back. Now the common mistakes that divers make is that they blast the first stage regulator instead. Now this is not something you should be doing at all because this causes the air to push the salt water vapors here into the regulator, which is exactly what you want to avoid. Salt water inside your regulator. So it's the dust cover that gets blown dry and then replaced very quickly. Alright, you rinse this off with fresh water later on. This regulator goes down onto the floor. Don't put it up on any elevated bench or cupboard. When the boat rocks, the regulator falls off and gets damaged. Alright, now this comes off, just a quick yank. Sometimes you have 2 cam bands, so you just remove both, slide it out. If you try and pull this out like that, it gets stuck. Alright, you got to slide it out, front and the back. So the front and the back, just slide it out. And remember, do not leave your tank standing if it's on a boat with the dive band secured with a bungee cord. Otherwise, you have to lie the tank down and make sure it doesn't roll around on the boat, or worse still, fall over and injure somebody's toes. Okay, now the BCD has to be emptied out of salt water, so if you place it in a horizontal position, all the salt water will gather around the bladder at this point. Then you tilt it all the way to this corner where the water will flow out here and you deflate. The best way to clean the inside is to press the deflator button and pump water inside the BCD, approximately half a liter of water, and do that flush about 2 or 3 times until the water that comes out when you deflate is no longer salty but it is fresh. So that's the disassembly of your Scuba set. If you have any other questions about this, please divert that to your dive instructor or dive professionals on the trip or boat. Thank you.